Hello, everybody. My name is Robert Evans. I am co-founder of a technology company called Actionera, as you can see on my shirt here. Actionera is the parent company of Entrepreneurs International Network, and we are here to introduce you to a new uh, trainer, partner, JV friend. This person actually falls under all the categories here. She's got some really great content to share with us today, especially if you are an author or an inspiring author. And we're just very excited to have Laura here. And Laura and I are just going to kind of go back and forth and have a dialogue about this particular topic and what she's going to be talking about, or what we're going to be talking about. I'm just going to be asking questions. She's going to be bringing the wisdom forth, is marketing hacks to make your book stand out and sell more. So like I said, if you're an author or if you're looking to be an author, this information that it will be shared here today is going to be very valuable to you. So let me just kind of do the official bio of Laura. Laura Rubinstein is a 9 times, I repeat that, 9 times #1 international best-selling author and award-winning digital media strategist. She has optimized marketing for over 1,500 small businesses through Transform Today and is the author of Social Media Myths Busted. Now, that's the official bio. My experience with Laura is an absolute genius in so many different realms and so many different markets. I'm going to bring Laura on to the spotlight here. There we go. Hi, Laura. Uh,
Hi, thanks.
welcome to EIN. Laura is uh, someone I met a long time ago, actually, and she built a social media based platform that connected people together. She's just kind of a jack of all trades when it comes to helping messengers, as I like to call you, all of you, some kind of message that you have that you want to bring forth into the world, helping messengers become more effective in reaching people and impacting people's lives. And Laura's, just been someone that's been, involved in she's involved in another organization called Evolutionary Business Council, which is not an Actionera company, believe it or not, but connected to Actionera in some wonderful ways. And Laura's just an absolute brilliant and amazing person. So I'm very honored that she's here today with us. Laura, welcome to EIN.
Well, I'm super excited to be here, Robert. Thanks for the great introduction. It's good to be back connected here.
Yeah, definitely. So let's talk about book marketing. Uh, and am I correct to say that, I mean, this is obviously in for anybody that's written a book, right? But if someone is looking to write a book, are these things that they should know in advance that will actually make what maybe even writing the book and definitely getting it launched and more powerful?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm really curious here today. Maybe you can thumbs up or say in the chat, I've written a book or I'm writing a book. Um, yeah, you have a book, you're writing a book, you want to write a book, any of that, because I guess that's why you're here. I want to make sure you're in the right place.
Yeah, writing a book.
Great.
Paul's writing one. Bill's written a couple books. Nice.
Paul's writing a book. That's great.
All
Yeah.
right. Well, good.
Awesome. Gail, of course.
Well, so let's talk about just marketing. Okay, let's say the book is written. What are some of the high payoff creative book marketing? What are the best book marketing strategies authors can implement after they get their book written and
Actually,
get it out there?
I actually want to back up and say you should not wait until you've written the book to market your book or to publish the book. So, but you did say high payoff creative book marketing strategies, right?
Yeah.
So all the typical marketing strategies still apply, and I'll mention a few of them. But this is for those of you who have a really super strong passion about your message and about your work. You're an expert in your field, and you really want to stand out. And you want to take and you want to leverage your book. Okay, whether it's coming out, you've written it, it's about to come out, it just published, or it's been out for a while. You can still do most of these strategies. If you haven't yet finished your book, here's one really cool creative strategy you can do. And I call it, it's under the umbrella of crowdsourcing. Okay. Now there's a couple of ways you can leverage crowdsourcing. Now, if you haven't fully written the book, you're not really sure if you have enough content in it, you can actually ask for content through your market and or leaders, other leaders in the field. And what that does for your book is you get a whole lot more people with invested interest in promoting it. Okay, so there's a creative way, get them involved, whether it's from the forward to bonus content to actual quotes in the book or chapters in the book, or segments of the book, appendixes, whatever it is. You can leverage other people, wisdom, knowledge, and contribution to your book. Now, here's another. Okay, so that's one way to crowdsource. Here's another way in the editing phase. Okay, in the editing phase, you could go, hopefully, one of the typical strategies that we use before you've finished writing your book is to talk about the journey. We know that from, I work with the Women Speakers Association, and we know that from our collaborative books that we encourage authors to talk about the journey and their co-authors and all that. But here's another thing you can do, especially if it's your own book, a solo book, or you're the main content contributor to the book, is so you're writing it. You could ask for support in feedback and proofreading. Now, Guy Kawasaki, some of you might know, has used this strategy. This is where I kind of stole his idea from it. He said it from stage. I assume it's okay to share. He let everybody know, his following know, that he was writing a book, and he asked if anybody would be willing, who's willing to preview the rough draft, and if they like it, would they be willing to share out about it when it comes out? And actually, I don't even think he asked for that. He just said, who would like to review it and give me some feedback on the content, not on like the writing of it, but like on the topics. And then what he did brilliantly is he had an opt-in form. So he used this strategy to build his list. So he got some feedback, and wouldn't you know, he got more names on his list than people giving him feedback. But we don't care. We don't really care about that because we're just wanting to build the list. And he knows that people were interested, and he got his first draft of the book out there. Then he said, thanks everyone for your feedback. Who would like to proofread it for typos? And if you do so, I'm going to give you, a free copy of the book after the fact. And I think it was just the PDF form of the book. Again, another opt-in form. Then he publishes the book, and he thanks everybody, and he tags people, and this is crowd. He's getting the crowd involved. And then he sends emails to everybody who opted in those 2 rounds. Guess what? The book you helped, I thank you so much. It's coming out. I'd love for you to share it, grab your copy. He built his list while writing his book. Yes, the content was out there ahead of time, but that's okay. That was okay with him. So if that's okay with you, you could use that strategy. Probably most of you haven't thought of something like that, or adapt it to your own way. So just remember, the question, Robert, you asked was get creative, right? So I want you to get creative too. And hopefully some of the ideas that I shared today give you ways you can iterate on it in your own style, something that resonates with you. Okay. So that's my first set of strategies, and I have a lot more. Can I keep going?
Yeah, no, keep going. And then, then I got some other questions for you, but give us another one.
Well, do you have questions on that particular strategy before I move on?
Not on that particular one,
Okay.
no. Yeah.
All right. So here's another one. Mike Dooley, anybody know, the Thoughts from the Universe guy, sends a quote a day. So he did a pre-order giveaway. So sell your books before they're ready before your launch, but what he did was order your books early and receive X, Y, and Z, ABC. Okay. It was a ticket to an event, a replay of a past training, a chance to win a swag bag, a chance to win 3 chances, a chance to win 3 of 10 swag bags. I mean, he did a chance to win. For every book ordered, you're entered into a giveaway for, or a raffle, and you got to be careful about the legalese of using that word. A chance to win a larger prize. Now, it could be a physical prize like an iPad or an Amazon gift certificate, or something that you sell normally, a VIP day with you, or get a sponsor to sponsor a prize. And then you're giving visibility to that sponsor. So sponsorships is another way to leverage it. And sponsorships could look like they donate something like a prize, or they could actually buy your books for a charity or for an organization that they would resonate with. So think out of the box. Think about vendors, service providers, others who might want to buy books. How about B corporations? You know, the ones that are good for social, they try to do something for a social cause. So if your topic has to do with a cause, they might just buy books to give to their employees, or to give to their customers, or to give out at their next conference, right? So think about bulk orders and sponsorships kind of collapsing the two into one. And they could buy a book for every book somebody else buys, you know, like if you have a book signing event, or you do a book event, and they can be the sponsor, and they agree to buy one with everyone that is sold at the book event, and that gets donated to a charity. So that's sponsorships, book orders, and giveaways all in one. So is your cup full? Are you guys good at this?
I love that, because I think there's a misconception about books being like, well, if I write a book, then where I'm going to make all my money is on the sale of each copy of the book. And that's really not the case for any really author. I mean, unless you become a big, well-known author and start selling hundreds of thousands or millions of books, it's tell me, where do you feel like, I mean, because what I love of what you're doing there is like, there's, one book leads to multiple people having either a copy of that book or reading that book, right? What is the value in that? I mean, what is it? Is it the more eyes on the page, the more they get to know who you are, the more they want to explore the other things that you have going on in your world, and that's where the real payoff is? Is that the case?
Well, it depends. Leveraging your book for your business is definitely what you want to do, because you're right, Robert. You make pennies on the dollar anytime a book is sold, and it takes you so much effort to sell a book. Now, that's why I'm encouraging you to get bulk sales through those sponsors or organizations or corporations, or even people in your life. The people you buy through, could be your hairdresser, or the local boutique you go to, or even a country club who might want to put it in a hospital bookstore. You're not going to make a lot of money off of those. You'll make some here and there, but the way you'll leverage your book for more is you can use it for PR opportunities. You can use it for speaking engagements. To get speaking, it opens doors. It's a door opener. Has anybody had that experience with their book? I know we have a lot of authors there. Have you leveraged your book yet to get more speaking engagements, to get more business? Okay, Lisa is saying, yep, exactly. So, and Gail, right? Definitely. So, there is tons of opportunities. If you spent the time writing this book, you might as well leverage it. Okay. So, and to your point, Robert, yeah, it's gonna open those doors for you. You can put it in bundles, put your book in bundles with your services. Like everybody who buys certain level of services or certain packages of yours should get a book, especially if it's, related to the service they're getting, or it's kind of, it's a nice gift edition, like it's a wow, it's a part of your shock and awe box. If any of you know what that is, that when you're onboarding new clients, you give them a lot of really cool things, and that could be in there. So you may not make money directly off the book, but it adds to that wow she's an author, he's an author. There's all kinds of cachet that comes along with having a book, right? Michael's saying you took some copies to a local store. Absolutely. And they picked up a few copies, and everything small compounds. And that's perfect point. Michael, you shouldn't avoid selling your book directly, because everything small does compound. And you never know when somebody's going to pick that book up and then pick up the phone to you and say, I loved your book. I want you to speak at this major event, or I want to hire you for this major contract. And boom, wow, you wouldn't have had that opportunity otherwise. Right. So, yeah.
Carrie's asking, she has a picture book. So
Ooh.
how do you use crowdsourcing for a situation like that?
Well, tell me more about the picture book. Is it adult, kids? What's the topic? I'd need to know.
Yeah, I guess that depends on the topic.
Yeah. So, Carrie, if you can, I know you might be driving, but
Yeah.
do you have? Feel free to type in the chat what that is, and I can address it. And
While she's doing that, let me ask you the question: what are some of the biggest mistakes that authors make when they try to sell their books?
good question. And by the way, I have tons more strategies.
Well, and we could definitely, but let's definitely come back
Yeah.
to that. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean,
So,
that's where the real
yeah,
richness of this is.
I think it's a mistake, but forgive yourself if you've done it, waiting till the book is published to start marketing it. It's never too late to start to market, but you get more momentum going if you start before you've published. 3, 6, 12 months in advance is good. Printing copies without a plan or pre-orders, I think, is also a mistake, because you don't want to be, if you don't have a plan, don't buy printed copies. Have a plan. And have a plan so much that you run out of printed copies. It's that balance between having printed copies and running out of them. So first, get your pre-orders. That's the best way to know how much to print, and then you could either double that order because you know what you've done to create the first set of, and if you can duplicate that, you could probably create another set. But simply publishing that book isn't going to get it sold, right? And you also want to make sure you've targeted the reader. Okay. Like, does this market really want what you have? Will they eat it up? Will they love it? So if it's something you just have to get out because it's your life's work, great. And if you don't test the market, just know that it may or may not go well for you. Ideally, you test the market for the topic, for the type of book it is. And if that's a green light, then you write it for that market. Okay. And then have your launch strategy, your pre-launch and your launch strategy. Because if you don't have a launch strategy, again, why are you spending so much time, effort, and money for this? So yeah, and Jacinta saying that she pre-ordered her first book, and she did pre-orders, and it was really good. So that's great. Should I go back to, I think, Carrie?
Yeah, let's go back to Carrie. I'm going to try to let Carrie unmute. Maybe she could talk to us here. Try to unmute now, Carrie. There she is.
Oh, okay.
Who's the audience for your book?
It would be, can you see me now?
Yeah, we can see it.
It would be young mothers.
Young mothers. And it's a picture book that they can read to their kids?
Yeah, it's actually going to be a lullaby within the book. So I'm picturing a board book, and the pictures are going to show like the mom having trouble getting the baby to sleep. And it's actually about my daughter. I've been trying to do this my whole life, like 20 years. And my daughter is a singer. And then there'd be a download in the book of her singing. So this fussy baby grew up to sing the lullaby of the book. So it'll have a cool backstory.
Yeah. There's so many things you can do pre and post launch for this with crowds. I mean, you could have other people singing the song and posting the song all over social media. You could, if you want to get groups together of moms groups together and have them do any number of things with the book, whether it's have a lullaby party or something, a baby lullaby party, or it could be just
that's
a mom's unwinding party, wine and lullabies, when they get, somebody sings them songs, like, or get creative with this. I hope, does that kind of plant some seeds for you?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So you said like a bunch of people singing it, like my daughter does for her, like when she releases a pop song, she tries to get people to do TikToks of it. So I basically try to get people to sing my lullaby.
Yep.
And then get I like the mom's unwinding parties.
Yeah.
And
lullabies are not just for babies, they're for mummies too.
yeah, this is good stuff. So you could also do, like, what was the first thing you said? Because I had to dig in the recycle to get something to write on. Because I just got home.
I don't know, watch the replay.
Okay, I'll watch the replay. Thank you.
Any number of things. Yeah.
Awesome.
Definitely.
Thank you, Carrie. Appreciate
it.
All right, let me go to another question, then let's go back and do another strategy. But I'm super curious about this myself because I'm very into this now. Let's talk about AI. Ooh, AI, right? It's the new thing. How does that kind of play in? What are some creative ways that you can use AI for marketing your books that you think a lot of authors overlook or don't use?
Okay. Who's using AI? Anybody? Who does not like AI? Okay, good. I just want to know who I'm talking to here. So AI, obviously pros and cons to it. Very basically, I'm going to go basic and other out of the box strategies too with it. You turn your book into a viral content machine using AI. You can generate content so much faster with it. Okay. I'm not saying copy it word for word unless you've already trained it and it's in your language, and you have to review, think through what it's got outputted to you, and then rewrite if needed. Okay. So what does that mean? Turn your book into a viral content machine. Use AI tools to take your interviews about your book, your speaking clips, and turn them into viral social media videos, those reels, put some music behind it. Kind of like we were just talking about with Carrie, you can take AI and just take snippets take 6 to 10 seconds of a lullaby and a comment on it. Comment on it. Hey, I want you to check out this great version of the lullaby. Boom. And then, you can use video tools like Descript or Opus Clip. Those are video AI tools that can help you do videos pretty quickly to parse out different things, and you can add in different things if you want. This is if you're into the technology, of course. Canva, a lot of people use Canva, Canva. They have their whole AI kind of like helps you enhance all the visuals that you create. You can generate captions for attention getting posts. So you can use ChatGPT to say, give me, here's my book, or here's what my book's about. Give me 20 different attention grabbing Instagram post copy. And then it will, produce copy for you. You can also use AI to find opportunities by having it say, okay, I want to be on a bunch of podcasts, write a pitch for a podcast for me, or what kind, ask AI how to pitch these podcasts. So you put the title of the podcast, what they're looking for in, and say, here's my book and what I talk about, my expertise, what would be a great pitch? So it takes the angst out of what do I say? but use it to pitch podcasts. You can scrape event listings for relevant speaking opportunities. There are AI tools. I don't have, there are lots of AI tools. Just Google AI tools for scraping event listings out there, and it can find you different things. Now, some of these tools are kind of expensive, so some of these strategies may or may not work for everybody, but just know that this is one option if you're so inclined. There are, now all of our CRM tools, our email marketing systems have AI to track who clicks, opens, who doesn't open. You can use that to send messages for those who don't yet open another email, so that you're finding opportunities and you're outreaching to your market. You can use chatbots. I have not put that in. It takes a lot of time to put chatbots in place where you, on your website, where you can answer questions about the book, for instance, collect emails, that kind of thing. But you can also do quizzes and challenges using AI. You can give them the topic of your book and a summary of the chapters and say, create a quiz about this. Now, not for the picture book necessarily, but for something that's more nonfiction oriented, that would be great. So, oh, good. The BotForge AI is a chat box. So great. So we have Chris recommending that. And so there's a lot of ways you can combine AI with, whatever you want to do, whether it's find more speaking engagements for you and your book and creating viral content, expanding your audience, and helping you build that credibility.
How important do you think AI plays in today's world for authors? I mean, do you think if someone's not using it at all, they're kind of being left behind, or what do you?
It could be, but not necessarily. Well, let's put it this way: they have a great team of people who can produce content for them. You don't need AI. If you're on it saves you time, it saves you money. So is it AI going to make or break you? Not necessarily yet. I mean, I think everybody's is going to be using it in business, or not everybody, but a large percentage. So people are going to able to do things faster. And if you want to keep up pace, I think it's really important for that.
Awesome. Okay. Now, can we jump back to your strategies? Can you give us another one?
Oh, sure. So,
Twist your arm, right?
so we talked about the digital swag bag, but I didn't say what was in it and where would you, well, you can use it in a giveaway for pre-orders, but you could also use it for purchasers. And you've probably seen this strategy a lot is, buy this book, give me your order number, and I'll send you all these gifts, right? Now you can do the gifts in several ways. You can do things, but here are some ways I haven't seen done too much, but I think would be really cool. Bonus chapters. Or if it's a fiction book, alternative endings, or if it's your picture book, Carrie, how about a second book, like an ebook that goes along with it, or the sequel to this story, or a story that goes along with it. So you can, or another lullaby, it's, or the recording of it with the book. So the swag bag can be bonus material, could be journals, guided journals or workbooks. It could also be exclusive author Q&A videos. It could also be a summit. So we could say for purchasers to get exclusive access to a summit of some sort, if you want to put together, if you want to tie it into an event. Those are kind of things. Also, so that's one strategy, is to offer a digital swag bag. Another one is think about gamifying your book.
Ooh,
So
like
yeah, with contests or challenges or experiences. So how about read 10 chapters in 10 days and for a chance to win a prize, you could do so it's a reader challenge. You could do a social media giveaway, tag a friend, follow to enter a signed book giveaway. So
what I love about all of this that you're mentioning right now is you put together these very creative approaches. One, it really gets people engaged in the messages, that sort of thing. But it all of a sudden gives you so many more options that people can enter your world, right? It's
Mhm.
like you created this book, but you're creating all these marketing strategies, these creative marketing strategies around the book that will get people into your community, onto your list, and engaged with the other things that you've got going on. So you got someone that's written a book, has got all these social media posts out there, and maybe you're doing this or that, or some of these strategies, the gamification. They're all path to the other things that you've got happening.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because ideally you are leveraging this as part of your business. It's not just the business you want to create. I have worked with clients who say, all I want to do is write a book and that's my business. And I'm like, okay,
Cool.
we're going to work really hard at trying to get that book sold. But if it's a travel book and you're talking about, traveling to Australia, why don't you lead tours to Australia or offer advice to people traveling to Australia for free, for a fee? So yes, I think it's really important to tie it in. And to that extent, you could also do affiliate contests. So you can have affiliates who would market your book for you as well and offer them prizes for the top referrers. You can also host an author, what I call host an author book club. So for book clubs who buy 10 or more copies, you can offer to go to speak to their book club as the author. And then you're getting exposure for yourself and your expertise. And you can, at any speaking engagement, you can have an upsell to something else or a free offer that gets them more familiar with what you're doing and then take them through a nurture funnel. But I'm focusing on the book marketing today. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, your book. So let's talk about speaking in podcast and getting plugged into other communities and other audiences, collaborations in general. How does an author really leverage those to get more sales? What's the path to that?
well, the beautiful thing is you can find so many podcasts out there on so many topics. So pick topics where the people who would use your services or want to read your book would be listening to. Pitch them. Again, use your AI to figure out the pitch, contact them, and even get the lists from AI. And then you put yourself in front there and you get to say, mention your book there, and you can find the book at booktitle.com or whatever your URL is, right? If you just slip that in there, that's all you need. You don't
I
need
mean,
to.
we've all done that, right? We've all
Yeah.
listened to someone or watched a YouTube video or something like that, and you hear, oh, this person's an author. We're like, oh, Amazon. What's the name of what's this author, right?
Right.
So yeah, I think that's you're
Yeah.
100% right. Get in front of those audiences and talk, mention that.
Yeah. And there are places like podcastguest.com, I believe it is, or matchmaker.fm or Podchaser. You can find various hosts. You can do searches on LinkedIn especially if you have the paid version of LinkedIn.
There's
So you
there's
just
Next
mentioned
Gen
your
Collaboration Circle is a great place to get the podcast and speaking leads.
yes, tons of speaking leads at Next Gen Collaboration Circle. Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
And I love that. Yeah, there's just whatever podcast you like listening to, search your podcast app and that are related and pitch them. Be sure when you're pitching podcasts, you understand if they're still looking for guests, if they take applications and what they're looking for, what the requirements are. Please listen to a couple of episodes of their podcast too, because
Yeah.
otherwise it makes you look very opportunistic if you're not listening to them. But yeah, that's basically partnering. You can partner with other authors for cross promotions. And that's another way to leverage like a collaboration, not necessarily a podcast, but doing things with other authors is also really fun and can be very profitable because you're bringing in two audiences together, your audience, their audience, and maybe even a venue's audience if you did a co-signing at a library, for example. So
Nice.
you can do giveaways and stuff like that there too.
So I want to invite everybody that's on here. If you have any specific questions about your book or marketing around your book, feel free to go into the chat, do that, or if you want to raise your hand, we'd be able to unmute you too. So can we go back to that? Like, do you have another strategy that you can share? Because I got one big question at the end that I want to wait a little bit to ask you. But do you have another strategy that you can share with one of these other creative ones?
Sure. There's always a strategy, right?
Yeah.
Um, so you can run a campaign that's a pay what you want campaign for the book, and you can use different software like Gumroad out there, PayHip. They let readers choose their price for the book, and this builds your email list. It creates goodwill, especially if it's a timely book like the. And I'm not suggesting this for you, Carrie, but stress is high in these days. If it's a book that help manage your stress, or can ease something, hey, pay what you can, or if it's for a social cause, or you're just passionate about this, pay what you can. And you can offer the free, you don't have to do it forever. You can just do a campaign, a 1-week thing, and then upsell a coaching program or upsell whatever you're selling beyond the book to that. So, those, and then you can do, so that's another strategy, the pay what you can book campaign. And it gives you lots of great exposure. So we were talking about collaborating with other authors. And so I thought I'd offer a cross promotion strategy which means you can offer to put another author in your newsletter or email, or do an email blast out for them if they would do one for you. You can do that multiple gift giveaways. How many of you have seen those gift giveaway pages? It's usually on a specific topic, but each participant in there has their own giveaway. You've seen them? Please tell me you've seen them.
Mm-hmm.
Gift, and you can run one and get people to, or go find other gift giveaways to be in. And you can do multi-author book bundles. So get authors together. Hey, let's sell our book as a bundle. I believe even Amazon has a way for you to do that. So I think we had a couple of questions coming in.
Yeah, one question I really like is from Deborah. We talk about marketing these books for people to buy the books, but how do you market a book so the bookstores see it and then want to put in there? You have any thoughts on that?
That's a good question. I'm not an expert at that, except for local bookstores. I'd walk into the bookstore and talk to them, ask them, how do they choose their books? Where does it have to be? Is Ingram enough? Can you let them know you're a local author? Ask them if they want to do a book signing. How might that work? Some bookstores might even let you bring in the book copies and give it to, place them in their store, and they sell them for you. Others will require distribution. The larger bookstores, I am not an expert in getting them in there, but it's good to have it listed on Ingram Spark. But the marketing of that, I'm going to defer to a publisher on that. Okay. Check with your publisher or a publisher, or I can check with a publisher and let you know. So email me.
Nice. Michael asking something about paid ads on our placements on Instagram. Have you had much success with your clients around that, or the return on?
I haven't. That's another area I don't do a lot of paid ads, just because typically you need quite a nice budget for that. And but I haven't checked on books. You could try. I would do a test for sure, and see book theme pages. Yeah, I'd have to look into that. That's a great idea.
Laura's wondering if you could extend, or not Laura, Leslie is wondering if you could expand upon the pay what you want campaign.
Sure. So you set it up on some sort of an e-commerce system that allows the person to choose their price, like Gumroad is one of those, and you promote it. You say, okay, you're going to do it for a week, say, and maybe we have this week is International Women's week, and maybe your book is about women or the mom's book, and say, you know, celebrating moms everywhere, international, you know, Women's Day week, then, you know, pay what you want, click this link and buy the book. It's pretty simple. And you can post that out everywhere, put it on a blog, put it on social media, email your list out, ask them to, and then one strategy I didn't talk about is create, and this you do it as soon as you can, whether you're writing your book right now or you've already published it, create your street team for your launch and or your relaunch. And what do I mean by street team? You email people on your list that you have good relationships with and influencers that you have relationships with. And what do I mean by influencer? Anybody with an email list that you have a connection with, and say, hey, do you want to be on my street team or on my book launch team? And what that means is on this day or these 2 days, I'm going to be doing a special promotion of launching my book. We're going to run it for 99 cents, or we're going to have it free. We're going to do this pay what you want campaign, or I have this swag bag, or whatever it is. And would you be willing to be a part of my team to promote it out? And then if they agree, then you say, and here's what's involved. I'm going to send you 3 social media posts, and I'm going to send you copy to send out either in direct messages or in email. And then please send it on the days that I as laid out here. And so then you run your campaign and they support you. So you have a street team, and which is, it's organic. It's by word of mouth is what I mean by the street team. Some people even go as far as doing flyers in their neighborhoods, because if you want to be known locally, you could put flyers on neighborhoods or in a parking lot or whatever it is. So you can get as organic as you want with that. But the pay what you want campaign is putting it up somewhere where you can link to, where they can put in a number and you have it run for a certain number of days. I hope that is enough.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. And then you get them on your email list, you nurture them, you leverage it into something else. Yeah.
Okay. But I mean, you obviously have a laundry list of different strategies and approaches that you could take to this, to marketing book. But what if we could narrow it down a little bit here? What would you say are 3, like the best 3 key marketing strategies that an author can focus on? And is there a particular priority to those 3, or what?
Yeah, I think everything that I've talked about, not everything, but a lot of this depends on an engaged audience. So build out your audience. Make sure you're not going cold to social media. You've been putting some stuff out there. You've been engaging with other people, and then make sure your email marketing is referring people to follow you here on Instagram, on YouTube, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, wherever you're going to be posting. Publish blogs, or however you're going to get your thought leadership out there. That would be first. Build your engaged audience early, as early as you can. Then one thing we didn't talk about is, if you're going to put your book on Amazon, put it on right, which means optimize it. Have the keywords in the title, the description, and the places it counts, as well as the categories, and getting early reviews. Part of the thing you can do with your street team is also ask them to give you an early review. So you definitely want to optimize your book's visibility on those platforms, especially if you do want to do something with a publisher in later on, because then it makes you look like you know what you're doing, and you've gotten visibility and you've gotten positive praise for it. And then thirdly would be leverage partnerships, whether it's getting on podcasts, collaborating with influencers, networking with other authors. That's how I would prioritize and put strategies into those.
Okay. Love that. You have something for people that you do an assessment. I'd love for people before anybody starts to jump off here, I want to make sure that they get the link to that. Tell us about this book marketing success assessment. What does it do, and why should someone go for this right now?
So I put together a really easy to fill out assessment, and it's it's almost a checklist for you, right? Do you have these things in place? And you'll get to see the list of it, and you'll be able to assess where you're at. And then if you want to go further, create a strategy, you'll know where to focus in on the strategy. And if you want to help with it, I can certainly help you with that. So I would recommend taking, it's super quick. It'll help improve your book marketing, focus where to focus on it.
So we just put the link in the chat for that that assessment. So if you want to click on that, open that up on your browser so that you have it before we end here today. How do you work with authors today, Laura? What does you do? Do you have a program? Do you do like one-on-one coaching or all of the above type thing? What is the best way that you actually work with people directly?
I have 2 or 3 ways I work with authors. One is I have a group program once a month called the Marketing Success, the Monthly Marketing Strategy Club. And you can join that. If anybody wants that link, you can come to a session of that on me, since they are part of this Action Era, Next Gen, whatever we're in now, EIN group here. You've attended that. So you can just email me. I'll put my email in. And so that's nice because it's once a month, and it's kind of like get input on your strategy in a group setting, and get strategy ideas as well. The second way is, yeah, I do boutique type of services, consulting. So you have the book, you don't have a book, you're writing a book, we don't know what you need. You want to get help on focusing what you should do when. You might need help on the messaging and putting the whole book together from soup to nuts, from putting the book together, getting it on Amazon, and getting, and getting it marketed. And that's really where we'll focus. I can help you with the getting it marketed. So just book a call with me, the transformtoday.com/15 if you want actual help. And okay, I have lots of the pieces in place, but I think I'm missing something. I don't have any of the pieces in place. I really can help you get your act together, streamline your efforts, get the book marketed and seen and visible. The third way is I actually am, Gail, is it okay if I mention?
Yeah.
Okay. So I work with a collaborative book every year. And if you're a woman, we have a collaborative book through Women Speakers Association. And we are looking for authors. So even if you have your own book, you want to get more publicity on it, here's a strategy that's really creative. What if you could put one of your chapters from your existing book, or about something about your existing book, or a book that is forthcoming to be existing, into a book that's marketed by 45 other women for you. So if you want to get information on that, email me as well, and I'll put you in touch with how to do that and be in a collaborative book for 2026. They're taking authors now. It's called Voices of the 21st Century. So, and it's fabulous because we also give you marketing strategies in that book as well. And so that's perfect if you want to have more help getting yourself visible out there.
Yeah. I love this. I love that you are very clear that marketing starts way before the book comes out, maybe even the very beginning when you come up with the idea, which in a lot of ways, if you start marketing your book that far in advance, it probably motivates you and kicks your butt into writing the book, right? Because if you're putting it out there, right? Now, but Ian, you said something earlier that I just want to just kind of follow up on. Someone that has written a book, you said something about kind of a almost like a relaunch of that book, because I think that's really important to know, is that just because you've written it, maybe it was been out for a couple of years, doesn't necessarily mean that it can't come back to life in you implementing these different strategies. Would you agree with me on that? Is that
Absolutely.
what you would consider a
Yeah,
kind of
you
a
could do a relaunch anytime of the existing book, or you can edit a few things in it, call it volume issue 2 or volume second edition, third edition, that kind of thing. And just republish it and get it out. So you can just relaunch it at any time.
Awesome. Awesome. I love that. Does anybody have any questions for Laura?
Did anybody get anything useful?
Yeah.
Great. Yes, Deborah.
Let me find. Deborah has a question.
Yes.
There you are. Okay, go ahead, Deborah.
Thank you. So I took down all your information and want to email you. So even like a children's book would be acceptable into your group of women, or because it doesn't really have a chapter, it's just a story, right?
We would talk about how you could put yourself in there. Yeah, because it's a story. You need to put a story in there, but it could be like we've had authors who have children's books write a story about the process of writing that book, about the passion that drove that book, or why that book even exists. So yeah, it's you wouldn't just put the children's story in it though. Yeah.
Okay, oh, great. I'll
But
email.
it would drive visibility for it, if that makes sense.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Phoebe.
All right. And let's
Yeah.
see. Phoebe's
Phoebe's asking. So, did you self-publish all your books, or have you worked with a publisher? Any suggestions for finding a publisher? I've self-published my solo book, and I have worked with a hybrid publisher. So with the Voices of the 21st Century books, we work with a hybrid publisher. So yes, we have, which means you own all the copyrights, but they do all the publishing work, if that makes sense.
That's nice.
And it's really great because especially if you do something like the Voices of the 21st Century, you get kind of like an overview of the whole process, and then you might want to do your own book. Or if you want to do your own book, let me know and I can refer you to a publisher and we can talk about that.
Cool.
Hybrid, I think I just explained hybrid, so thank you. Thank you, Gail.
All right. Carrie,
Michael.
Carrie had a question about how do you choose the women? Well, my recommendation, I'm going to put your
Email me.
email. I'm going to put your content back in here so it's at the top,
Yeah.
or your links.
So Michael's asking a question. Maybe I mentioned this. One simple thing to do is to put your email. Yes. Beautiful. I love that idea. Simple thing in your email signature, right? Author of the upcoming or forthcoming book and the title. That's great. Again, that's a good one for accountability to everybody you email.
Awesome. All right, so I highly recommend that you at the very least do the assessment. Click on that link there. Laura's being very generous here in offering an opportunity to connect with her directly. She has her calendar link in there also, or you can email more questions to Laura at the email that's also there too. So thank you, Laura. Appreciate you being here today and sharing your wisdom. And I know that we just barely touched upon all the knowledge and wisdom that you have. I know you had a lot of ideas that you wanted to share, but we just didn't have enough time for. But I got a bunch of ideas out of this myself too, because I've got my book brewing too, and I need to start thinking about the marketing. So
Great.
awesome.
Hopefully this helped.
Yeah, it definitely did. So, all right, everybody, thank you very much for joining us here today for our Entrepreneurs International Network. This is Laura Rubinstein. You can connect with her, take her assessment, set up a call with her. If you're an author, or you've already published a book and you're looking to maybe relaunch it, this is a great resource for you to really get a lot of great ideas and continue that journey. So, Laura, thank you. Appreciate you. And
Thank you.
see you in a few weeks in San Diego.
Yep.
And everybody else have a wonderful day. We'll see you next Tuesday for our next training call. And until then, have a great rest of your week.
Bye, everyone. I look forward to being in touch with you. Bye for
Take
now.
care.